So my plan for this marathon prep, it is Saturday morning, August 17th. It's a special day because it is the day of the Leadville 100 running in Colorado. That race is very special to me. It's really my first exposure to ultra running. In 2021, when Abby and I were living in Colorado, we went to the Leadville 100 and kind of just spectated, but I was hoping this year I would be running the Leadville 100. It did not, unfortunately, work out, but I felt like I had to get out early this morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, which is 4 a.m. Mountain Time, which is the start of the Leadville 100. So everyone running this year's race is currently off through the mountains of Colorado. Best of luck to everybody. It's an amazing experience. Make the most of it. While I may not be running through the mountains of Colorado, I am in a town where we live, Simpsonville, Kentucky, running 18 miles this morning. Currently 14 weeks and 1 day out from the Philadelphia Marathon on November 24th. This week has been kind of a soft launch to this marathon prep. I haven't had a structured speed workout, and I'm really just barely gonna get over 70 miles on the week. Today we're gonna go about 7 miles easy, and then at that point we're gonna start 15 rounds of 2 minutes hard, 1 minute easy. So it's 45 minutes of work, and then we'll easy run the remaining way to 18 total miles. We're just going to get the legs turning, you know, hopefully head into next week feeling strong, feeling healthy, and then we can begin structured speed workouts, and I've got all of those laid out right now. 5 miles in, beautiful pink sky sunrise this morning. I'm gonna run 2 more miles easy. In that time, I'm gonna pick up a gel and some electrolytes, and then at the 7 mile point we will begin the 15 by 2 minutes hard, 1 minute easy. All right, about to begin the first set. Right when it hits 7 miles, I'll hit lap press on the watch, and that'll start the sequence of 15 rounds. And here we go. first rep done. Looked like I ran about low 6-minute pace there. We'll see how these recoveries are going. If I feel okay, I'll float the recovery. Just basically running at like a moderate effort, about 60 seconds slower than hard intervals. If I feel rough though, and the paces aren't coming well during these hard intervals, then I'll take a full recovery, about 2 to 2.5 minutes slower than my hard running effort. All right, 1 minute recovery after I just completed the 7th rep. I find with these fartleks that it gets easier as it goes. You kind of ease into harder running. And the thing about where I run, there's so many rolling hills that when I sit down and look at the splits from this workout, I can easily identify which intervals I was running a hill and which intervals I was running a flat. So it promotes really good stimulus, but it affects the pace of the workout, which is okay. Fartleks are very much effort-based workouts, and that's what we're doing today. Just getting a stimulus. Here's rep number 8. You gotta love early mornings, not much traffic. Three more. Once you get later into the workout, the first like half of the recovery hurts a lot more. 3 more though. I'm gonna finish it strong. We are done. 15 rounds of 2 minutes hard, 1 minute easy. Brings us to 13.6 miles total on this run, which means we've got about a 4.5 mile cool down to 18 total. Whew. It's brutal out here today. 72 or so degrees, probably like 85, 90% humidity. So ready for summer to be over, but at the same time, it's these workouts that move the needle just a little bit for those bigger fall workouts, which set you up for a good race. So we're just grinding through it. Run complete, 18 miles, total time of 2:21:36 for an average pace of 7:51. I am really happy that that run is over. so I want to break down today's run. I want to explain the reasoning behind the structure of this week's long run, and then what I'm planning moving forward into the depths of this marathon prep. So today was 18 miles. The main goal was just to get 18 miles on my legs. The secondary goal was to integrate faster running paces, and I did that at a pretty short interval fartlek, which ended up being a 2-to-1 fartlek. So 2 minutes at a hard effort pace, not really worried about what that pace ended up being, but more so just looking to get the legs turning and to get effort up there during the run. And I ended up doing 15 rounds just to make sure that I was getting a decent amount of volume in with those work ratios. So I'll go through each one, all 15, and you can pretty much see that like the pace will vary just because with just a 2-minute interval, a slight change in how fast you're running will kind of drastically change the minute per mile pace. But all of these work intervals were about 0.3 to 0.34 of a mile. So that's a little bit under 600 meters. So the first interval, 0.31, so that was an average pace of 6:23. The second interval, an average pace of 6:38. Third interval, 6:35. Fourth interval, 6:37. Fifth interval, 6:21. Sixth, 6:08. Seventh, 6:16. Eighth, 6:09. Ninth, 5:55. 10th, 6:04. 11th, 6:08. 12th, 6:21. 13th, 6:22. 14th, 5:55. And 15th, 5:59. So with those 15 intervals multiplied by 2 minutes, we got 30 minutes exactly of working volume. That ended up being 4.80 miles at an average pace of 6:15 minute per mile. So I mentioned during the run, I wasn't sure if I was going to float the recoveries or if I was going to take a full recovery. When you look through the recoveries, I think it ended up averaging out to be 8:15 minute per mile pace for the recoveries. All of those recoveries were high 7s to mid 8s, somewhere in that range. So that ended up being basically a full recovery. That's like right where my easy pace is like, mid 8s. So that ended up being a full recovery, just 60 seconds, so it definitely felt short. And that was the work of today's run. After that, I basically cooled down to 18 total miles, which was another 4.8 miles of running. Really, when I break this workout down, I think I have to look at it and not overthink it, because the hard intervals were averaging out to be a 6:15 minute per mile pace, which was my marathon pace at last year's Indianapolis Marathon, where I ran my PR of 2:43. So, to look heading into another marathon prep where at bare minimum I want to run under 2:40, and at best hopefully like 2:35. This pace and the effort that I put out today correlating with pace is far away from where I'd prefer to be, but I also know what went into that. I've been kind of like trying to bounce back from some aches and pains that have been lingering for a few weeks. Legs definitely fatigued from strength training earlier in the week. And then really the humidity was just through the roof today. It was, I think, 92% humidity this morning. And as I mentioned also on the run, whenever I head out my door and do a run basically where we live, it's very hilly, which I love for a training stimulus. Running the Philadelphia Marathon, it's going to be a pretty flat and fast course. So it's going to be very different from what I'm dealing with out here. But especially on these fartlek days where it's all based on effort and I'm not really overthinking pace, I do like the stimulus of getting the opportunity to run hills. So You know, I can choose to overthink it, I can choose to get discouraged, but at the end of the day, I just wanted a good, hard effort running stimulus. I got that. I got 18 miles on my legs this morning, so we just kind of take it and we move on into next week. I'm going to document this prep in, I guess, 3 ways. The first way, and the way that I'm going to probably invest the most time into, is my blog. My personal website will be linked in the description of this video, and every single Sunday I'm going to post a pretty comprehensive recap and overview of my training for that week. That is both for me to kind of study my training and learn from the practices that I'm implementing, this being my first time basically as a certified run coach that I'm coaching myself. So I'm really going to put my training, my decision making, my performances kind of like under the microscope to study those things. I know it's going to make me a better coach. It'll probably make me a better runner in the long term. And I also hope that like people who enjoy the numbers and the methodologies behind training, I hope that those people, if you're one of those people, can go to that blog and kind of like geek out over the training side of it, and maybe even get, you know, some workouts that you guys want to implement into your own training. Test some new things out. You know, try some things that you've never tried before. So, you know, if that's what that blog ends up being for, I think it's a huge win. It also gives me something to look back on and say like, oh, look at how I progressed, you know, over the course of 14 weeks. Look at where my mindset was, you know, 12 weeks ago versus where it's at today. So I always appreciate being able to document in that way. And on a similar note, like I'm actually documenting every single day of my training in a notebook right now. So I'm really excited about that. This is really just kind of like a clean design notebook. I'm putting down my training, my personal training notes, and basically like details of the workouts that I'm doing. And a lot of this will kind of serve as the basis for the blog post that I'm making. If you're watching this video right now, it's Monday or later, that first blog post is now live. So again, go to the description of this video and click on the link to go to my personal website and see everything that I wrote about this first week. This coming week's going to be the first week that really resembles like a structured marathon prep. We'll get into a cadence of, you know, Monday and Tuesday easy runs. Wednesday will be my workout day. Thursday, Friday will probably be easy runs, although here in a few weeks I do have the plan to potentially implement another workout session on a Friday. So look for that to be something that gets implemented as we get deeper into this marathon prep. Saturday, I'm going to try to stick to being my long run day. So last year's marathon prep, I was on a schedule where one weekend would be a Saturday long run, the next weekend would be a Sunday long run. I think I'm going to try to stick with Saturday being my long run day, just to kind of keep it very ritual based. And then Sunday will be a recovery run. If I'm really beat up, I'll take the day off on Sunday. So I'm not going to try to put too many miles on Sunday mornings. I want to keep that to kind of be a recovery and like deload day before heading into a new training week. I'm also going to be documenting it through YouTube as much as possible. I can't necessarily promise that it will be weekly, but I would love to, in some format, post a YouTube video weekly to document this prep. And then the third way that I will document this marathon prep is through my Instagram page. So if you don't already follow me, you probably do if you're watching this video, but if you don't already follow me, you can also find the link to my Instagram in the description of this video. And we've got 14 weeks. We've got 14 weeks till the Philadelphia Marathon. And the thing that I'm reminding myself of is like, this is an opportunity to learn so much, and this next race is not your last race. Like I have plans and I want to run the Boston Marathon in April, and then I have aspirations moving forward from there as well. So everything that I'm doing right now is foundational to both myself as an athlete and
kind of the direction that I want to take my coaching philosophy. So I'm going to learn a lot over the next 14 weeks. I'm going to share basically everything that I am able to share in terms of like how much how much time I can put into documenting this process. I hope that because of that, you can learn a lot about the sport of running, about how to be a better runner, to run farther, faster, whatever you want to do. That's why I'm going to document this entire process. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will continue to follow along with this marathon prep.